All right. So this is part two, and Justin's going to ask the coolest question. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't know. People are stupid. They're just stupid. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know the answer to your question. They're just stupid. Like, really? Like, what are you thinking? Like, I don't know. So, but maybe I'm wrong. I love being wrong. One year I tracked every time I was wrong. My wife did, and all the people around me. And I'm embarrassed to say, Justin's probably going to shake his head and say, "Boy, I didn't realize he was wrong that off. I don't even work with the guy. I was wrong 7 times in a year. That's more than one every other month. It's embarrassing. So hopefully I'm wrong here, and I will have wisdom and answer. Just that guy is one. But my guess is he's going to learn. Mark's not that smart. So, what's your question?
So I put a post to about 5,000 people on Facebook. And all I asked was, can you send me your email address for $1,250? Whether you come to my event or not, that will enter you in for the possibility to win $1,250. I got like 7 people out of
Holy
5,000.
cow! That's amazing success. Wow. Like
So I was
that's
I was
awesome.
frustrated.
No, no, no. That brings back memories when I was 20 years old. So I didn't realize this. So a lot of times in business or a lot of times in fundraising, we see success and we don't even know it's success. That's frustrating because then we stop doing it because we didn't see success. So um so I had started a computer business in a college, a private college in Ankeny, Iowa, where I met my wife. And I sent out an invitation to subscribe or to get their kids into computers and stuff. This is before computers were really popular and stuff. And I don't know, I had 5 people out of 1,000 people or something like that that actually took me up on it. And I thought I thought I was a failure, but I wasn't. So I stopped doing it. And so I'm surprised you got 7, but you have good messaging. So I'm like, wow, that man, what he did, that was really cool. So what you did here is you went ahead and developed, so you had to identify targets, and then you developed and delivered message, and then you produced leads. So you did box one, two, and three, and your messaging was really good. I understand the disappointment. You're like, that sucked, but that's just people. Um, how long ago was this?
2 weeks ago.
Okay. So what you want to do is you want to email me everything you're doing.
Okay.
And so let me know what's going on. Just shoot me an email. Hey, I'm doing this and this and this. So I kind of know what you're doing because I might be able to save you some time and frustration or help you out.
Okay.
Um, do they know that it's for a good cause?
They do. Yeah,
Okay.
I promoted a lot. I guess I wanted it to be more organic than me getting an email scraper and scrape the emails. I figured, it would be better if they would voluntarily give up their email for, and I thought $1,200 would be incentive just to give your email.
Right. Right. That's what I'm telling. Yeah. Um, so again, any suggestions, any advice I give typically doesn't work, just a heads up. But I've told you I'm not that smart. So you know it. So if you take a suggestion and you like, Mark, it didn't work, I'm like, right? Like, I don't know. Like it's just like nothing works. So yours actually did work. So did you tell them when you were going to do the drawing?
I told them at the event.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, okay. So yes, and so I don't know if you're familiar with the marketing term uh, innovators, early adopters, and all of that kind of stuff.
I'm
Maybe
not.
no. Yeah. Okay. So in marketing, I have 3 degrees in business, one in finance, one in management, one in marketing. Um, Paid a lot of money of my own money. My parents didn't fund it. I funded it. And then I took a lot of time too that I didn't want to be going to school. And so I always like when I can use things I learned from my degree. I'm like, wow,
Sure.
I get to use something from my degree. And so there's when you go ahead and have a new iPhone, there's some people that they're called early adopters, I think, and they're the ones that'll stand out overnight and wait for the phone, for the new phone coming out. So
Right.
these are early adopters. Before early adopters are innovators. So you have innovators, and those probably are the 7 people. Then you have early adopters, and there's going to be more of those than the innovators. So there's a little tiny group of innovators, and then you have your early adopters, and then you have I don't know. There's another group. I forget what they're called, but they're the first people. They're not. There's a lot more. So it starts out small, and then it gets to be big. Have you seen Have you seen the Crazy Dancing Man video?
No.
Now I have to decide, do we want to show that to you now? Because that's a perfect video for you to understand, what it is. And um, I think I will. I think I will because normally normally I share this for leadership. But here, if you ever, can't sleep at night, you can go ahead and you don't have to take any um, medication. Just go to this. You go to voicesofintegrity.com. So voicesofintegrity.com, and then go for powerful video libraries. And so there's, I don't know, 30 videos that I find to be very interesting. And then we do podcasts. So the videos typically are just a few minutes long. But
Right.
then we've done podcasts on all of these. You think, Mark, you need to get a life. I'm like, right? I mean, you got way too much time on your hands. So, but this is one, the theory of stupidity. Oh, I love that one. Like, wow, that one's a good one there. But the one I'm looking for is the Crazy Dancing Man video. Okay. So I'll stop this and do commentary on it as we're going through it to relate to the marketing. So here we go.
If you've learned a lot
Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Let me try it over here.
about leadership, if you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with the
Okay. So here you have the original person's just doing it just to go ahead and do it. It's like what God put them on this planet to do. They're just doing it. They're not doing it for attention. They're just doing it. And all of a sudden you get one person. You got 7 people, which is great. Just phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal.
the crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal.
They don't know each other. They're just having fun.
Yeah.
You're going to embrace the 7 people. And you're going to say, so you could highlight them. You could have fun with them, and then everybody else is going to be jealous that you're having fun. Say good things about them. Tell them how brilliant, how caring, how loving, how nurturing, how amazing, how attractive they are. I don't know. You go ahead and you lift that bad boy up. You lift those 7 people up. You lift them up, and you go ahead and make them get excited. Like everybody else becomes jealous of those. Make sense?
Right. Makes sense.
So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural.
Okay.
Notice
So the first one didn't go ahead. The first one didn't go ahead and invite anybody else to attend. But the second one did. Like you kind of can see it here. Like
It's about them.
so he's calling out to somebody else. He's inviting somebody else.
Plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. See, it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point.
Okay. So you notice about this, there's no women.
Right.
Because women are more sensitive to looking stupid than men. So there's three of them now.
It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. Three is a crowd and a crowd.
But now you get the women looking at them. But the women still don't have the courage to go out there and look like idiots. Yeah.
Is news. A movement must be public.
She doesn't go out and join them. She sits down.
Right.
She doesn't want to look like an idiot. So
make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate.
now all of a sudden you start seeing this again, guys. So 2, 4, 5, all guys.
Followers, not the leader. Now here come
Now watch what happens.
2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got more.
So now the women start
The
going.
women are there.
Yeah, the women are there. So the men are like, so the men are there, but the women are like, wait a minute, they're having fun. Like they're having fun. And so
Momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now.
okay, so they want to join. They're like, oh, they're having so much fun, but I don't want to look like a fool. Now they're on the fence. And so now you're getting, and so in the marketing model, you have the early adopters. These are ones that come on. And then you have, the others. And that soon you're going to have what's called the laggards. And so the laggards are the very end ones, the ones that, they're lazy. And there's a lot of them out there, like a ton of them.
They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd.
So they want to be part of the in crowd. They don't want to be ridiculed. They're not willing to take any risks. So Tom Coons, he said that one of his professors in college said the masses are asses. And so
Crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining.
Okay, so listen to this.
Stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for the crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen,
So then you have people that are like, well, I've got to get in there because if I'm not, I'm going to be sitting alone and I'm going to look like a fool. And so they join not because they want to, just because they don't want to look bad.
and that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is over-glorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
Oh, listen to this. So There's this, when I first saw this, I don't know what it was, 6, 7 years ago. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is golden here. And so listen what happens here. This is so cool. Oh, that version, you didn't see it as much. But there's this girl in the background. She's like, how did he do it? How did he do it? Like, how did he do it? And so what you do is you did awesome on it. And so good work there. And so
If you've learned a lot about
good work there. So you're building momentum. So you might connect with the 7, and you might go ahead and say to the 7, you might say to the 7, can I use your name? Is it okay to? So what you do is you start praising them. And so they're different. They're amazing. You might go ahead and invite them to go ahead and do a personality assessment or give them a gift of some type. And so just for participation. So a lot of people, they'll be like, well, yeah, but everybody, the chances of me winning the 1200 is not, it's not going to be there. And you might go ahead. Have you ever done this before?
I've never done it before. No.
It's a brilliant strategy. It's unbelievable. I'm in awe. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's brilliant. So what we want to do is at the event, we want to go ahead and, we want to lift people up. Like we want to get a video of that happening. So people will go ahead. They're more interested in the energy of being in front of everybody than they are the money. So it's recognition. So it's recognition of what's going on. And so you got a long time to do it. So again, you'll see the same thing, 7, and then they start inviting their friends to do it, and they start doing. So if we can give them something like a free personality assessment, we could do something where, they get to know you because you're the crazy dancing man.
Right.
Have you talked to Brian Propp lately?
Yes, a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. So he's like a, rock star.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know if he could go ahead and do an autograph of something. I don't know if he would do that for you, but you could give you could give prizes out, and you could not tell people. Like you could, like of the first 7th or the first group, and you could say, there's only 7 of you that did it. So they got something, an autograph from Brian Propp or something. So you could go ahead and give them something. They're like, wait a minute, I didn't know that I was going to get right. You reward people for taking initiative and make the other people jealous. And so, yeah, that it's just brilliant. It's a brilliant strategy. And then have you ever gotten the press to join? Have you ever gotten like newspaper, TV, radio to join the event?
I have.
So there might be getting them involved too. Do you have companies that give gifts and stuff like that?
That's what we're working on, corporate sponsorships. Yeah.
Okay. So you might go ahead. And so there's in psychology, like, are you familiar with B.F. Skinner and his rats or Pavlov and his dogs?
Yes.
Okay. So the rats, they went ahead and, they hit a little button. They hit a little button and then they got rewarded. And so so human psychology is the rats went ahead and hit the button the most times when it was random and they didn't know when they were going to get the reward. If they knew they got it every time, they didn't hit it as many times. If they got it every 3rd time, it actually have them hit it more. but where the rats hit it the most is through random. This is what slot machines are built on.
Yeah.
So I'm not the only one that's not so smart. like Mark, are you saying that human beings are no smarter than rats? It's like, I didn't say that. I'm just saying this is what B.F. Skinner discovered, and this is what gambling does. So I don't know, it's something going on, but you can use that for an advantage. So if you go ahead and don't announce it, and then you announce it that this person lifted them up, they got a prize, they were one of the early adopters of it, and we're going to have other prizes, and we're not going to tell you what they are, and we're not going to tell you when they are. And then you can get sponsors to go ahead and give like small gifts that builds up to the bigger gift. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Anything else you have you'd like to accomplish today?
No, I'm thinking Brian just put out a book a few months ago, so I wonder if we could tie it into a book signing.
Oh, that would be awesome. So if you go ahead and say he's going to give a book or 3 books, there's going to be 3 books given away, and sell his books then. What's his book title?
Angel on My Wing.
Wow, that's a good title.
Yeah.
That's nice. So so neat. So neat. So yeah, so if you can go ahead and help the sponsors and then get Brian to go ahead and say nice things about you, like, Justin went ahead and, I gave this, and all of a sudden, I had these books that sold or whatever. So if you have tangible, same thing is true with sponsorships. So in the 530 grid, you're going to learn this. So here is box 12. So what you do in box 12 is you feed your successes. Brian can be a sponsor, and then you get a story from him, and you feed this success story, box 12, back into your marketing, pre-sales, and sales to get other sponsors. So what it is it's momentum. It's just like all of a sudden it starts building. It's in the book Good to Great. They talk about the flywheel and how it goes so slow. And often we think we're failing. We're not failing. It just takes time. Anything else you have, sir?
No, Mark, I think that's it.
I love it. I love it. Good work. Congratulations. That's very exciting. If you're listening to the rebroadcast of this, you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate. Invite other nonprofits to participate, and even for-profits. You learn a lot on the for-profit. You blend those things together, and that's really what Life Masteries is all about. If you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll-free 888-230-2300, outside the U.S. 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.